So from minis we go to juniors, and it's race 4 out of 24 here on Heats Day. It's heat number 1, groups A and B. Let's take you through the starting grid. So from pole position, it's going to be the 244 of Kenzo Craigie, and alongside him, from his teammate from Argenti Motorsport, it's Joshua Graham in the 298. It's Italy and the Netherlands. It sounds like something from the Euros these days when it comes to football. Alberto Kiko Fracassi and Casper Schormans on row 2. Harrison Whittingham and Ollie Wise, row 3. Jacob Woods and India's Adam Bansal on row 4. Boluet and Lewis Goff round out the top 10. Thomas Behrman, Max Cuthbert, Cameron Nelson, August Raber, Oliver Majewski, Crick Norden, Zain El Homosani, Fast Freddie Lloyd, Senior Pez Odenbol, Henry Cameron, and we welcome from Trinidad and Tobago, Naomi Garcia. She'll be joined on the back row of the grid with Germany's Julian Kovacevic. So, as with the minis, the juniors will be going around this circuit for 7 minutes plus an additional lap here at Paul Fletcher International, which will celebrate its 30th anniversary in just next year, would you believe it? Well, here we go, into the tram lines, revs rise. Are we ready, are we steady? Lights are out first time as we go into the Bruno Ferrari S's. And Kenzo Craigie leads the way. Great start by Alberto Kiko Fracassi, right on the back of the 244. Up the hill they go, 2-3 abreast at the back part of the field as they head over towards the Litchfield Bridge for the first time of asking. Fourth looking to be hotly contested between a couple of the drivers. They're fanning all over the shop, going through into the opening hairpin. 3 wide, someone going high, wide and handsome around the outside. And that was the 275 of Henry Cameron. Great job there. Right at the back of the field, got 2 for the price of 1. Shades of Caden McQueen at Kartmasters 2019 when he was running in the juniors at that point. The top 3 have already broken away. 4-way scrap over 4th position. But out of the Mike Wilson complex, it is going to be Kenzo Craigie that leads after the opening lap. Alberto Kiko Fracassi in 2nd. Looks like Casper Schormans in 3rd place. What's happened to Joshua Graham? He's dropped all the way down to 4th and is leading that train. Battle for the race lead. Alberto Kiko Fracassi up the inside of Kenzo Craigie. Schormans trying to thread the eye of the needle through onto the Litchfield Bridge, and the Dutchman makes it through. Great exchange there. The catalyst was Alberto Kiko Fracassi, but now Schormans up the inside into the infield hairpin. Runs a little bit wide, 2 wheels on the grass for the Italian, and both Schormans and Craigie get through. This is allowing Joshua Graham, Harrison Whittingham, Boluet, amongst others, to try and close on in. Great showing by Ollie Wise, who started in 6th. He's currently running P7. Schormans leads the way. Kenzo Craigie right on his back bumper into the Mike Wilson complex here on lap number 2. Out of the final corner, Schormans' lead is probably minimal at best. 0.139 up the hill through Uncle Tyrone's banking. Joshua Graham now locking his crosshairs on Alberto Kiko Fracassi as they go over the Litchfield Bridge, down the hill into turn number 4. On the run down, the very long run down to the opening hairpin out of 2 here at this circuit. And now the concertina effect is really showcasing itself. Just spotted Harrison Whittingham So that is 3. As now there's a late... That was a brilliant move there by Kenzo Craigie. Caught Kasper Schulman's napping as they went out of the second hairpin. Craigie went towards the outside, got the crisscross, got the job done. Schulmans goes wide up the inside, through into second position. That's Joshua Graham. Fracassi tries to go wheel to wheel. Little bit of sidewall touching between him and Schulmans. Now that has really allowed the two Argenti Motorsport carts at the front end of the field to start pulling away. Craigie back in the race lead after the opening 3 laps of this race, and we're not done yet, folks. Not by a long shot. Change for 5th position. Bolowet might have just made the move on Harrison Whitcomb up into P5. Up the banking, over towards the Litchfield Bridge. And now it's an Argenti flying formation at the front end of the field. Schulmans trying to get the better of everyone else behind him. Bolowet now looks to be in 4th position. Ollie Wise round the outside, and he's all 4 wheels onto the grass coming out of the second hairpin, but he makes it through. Might have been battling away with Harrison Whitcomb at that point there, nearly 3 abreast going into Bobby Cave corner, round about the bottom of the top 5. Careful, boys. Could get a little bit close for comfort. But the top 2 of Craigie and Graham pulling away into the distance. Kasper Schulmans must be thinking, what on earth do I need to do to be at the sharp end of the field? Well, he's running P3, which ain't too shabby in its own right. Just behind him, he's got Bolowet and Alberto Kiko Fracassi. Lewis Goff has absolutely sprung up the order from the outside of the top 10. And he's now up into P6 as the Sam Pollitt racing driver, multi-time IKR karting champion in a couple of disciplines, including junior Rotax. So coming up to 2.5 minutes to go. Craigie leads Graham. Now it's about trying to do a little bit of conservation in some respects because they have limited tyres available for the race weekend. But 2.25 minutes remain on the clock. Now about to complete lap number 5. Craigie, Graham, that's your top 2. It's an Argenti leading another one across the line first. Then it's Kasper Schulmans. Alberto Kiko Fracassi now ahead of Bolowet in the battle for P4. 5th, well, there's going to be a change. Thomas Behrman gets through on Lewis Goff. That's a change for 6th position. They've got Harrison Whitcomb right with them, who's 8th. Crick Noren and Fast Freddie Lloyd round out the top 10. Goff has got Whitcomb to his inside on the infield hairpin, and he makes the move through. So 1 minute and 35 plus an additional lap still remain. Battling still going on between Harrison Whitcomb and Lewis Goff going into the Fullerton S's. As Kenzo Craigie's lead is now just over 0.4 of a second. He's also put in the fastest lap in clean air, 57.450 seconds. Up the hill through Uncle Tyrone's banking, now onto the Litchfield Bridge they go once again. A little bit further back. Lewis Goff is not having an easy time at the moment. He's still got Harrison Whitcomb with him. And Fast Freddie Lloyd just behind. Oliver Majewski and Max Cuthbert have made some moves up the order. Cuthbert started 12th. He's back exactly where he started just over 5 minutes and a quarter ago. Craigie still leads the way. It's been a great scrap. We've had 2 different race leaders. That was on the opening 2 laps before our current race leader retook the lead coming through the second of the infield hairpins here at Paul Fletcher International. 2 more laps to go. Kenzo Craigie now has a lead of over 0.7 of a second in front of Joshua Graham. Kasper Schulman sets the fastest lap of the race, 57.374. He's already qualified through to the grand finals, courtesy of being in Langkawi in Malaysia late last year after the grand finals at Portimao for the Rotax Max Challenge Asia Festival. And Langkawi, a former host of the Rotax Max Challenge grand finals in years past. But the timer has now expired. And right at the back end of the field, a huge squabble happening between the likes of Naomi Garcia, Julian Kovacevic, Ariman Bansal in the 2:51 from India. Zain Al Homosani has made up a couple of places. Well, he's back to where he started. He's 17th at the moment. As out of the final corner, Kenzo Craigie, Joshua Graham, Casper Schulmans and everybody else will now start to see the last lap board as the 2:44. Kenzo Craigie, part of the Mercedes Junior team now, which also includes members such as current FIA Formula 2 runner from Denmark, Frederick Vesti. Previous alumni was also included Daniel Ginchard. But the final lap very much underway as our leaders make their way through into the second hairpin. Then it's the short shoot down to the Fullerton S's. Once Kenzo Craigie got back into the race lead, he hasn't looked back. A little bit further back, there is still quite a few jewels squabbling over the scraps over the table. But through the Mike Wilson complex for the final time, he started as the pole sitter at the end of this race after 9 laps. It's Kenzo Craigie from Argenti Motorsport representing the UK that takes the checkered and wins the opening heats out of 6 for Junior Rotax, and it's Argenti 1-2 courtesy of Joshua Graham. Casper Schulmans in 3rd, Alberto Kiko Fracassi in 4th, Bolowet 5th. Great job there by Thomas Behrman, younger brother of Ollie Behrman, currently running in FIA F2 this season and is part of the Ferrari Driver Academy. Started 11th, finished P6. Crick Knorden, Freddie Lloyd, Harrison Whittingham and Lewis Goff round out the top 10. August Raber, Ollie Wise, Cameron Nelson, Oliver Majewski. Senior Pez Orenball round out the top 15. And everyone made it to the checkered flag. All 22 drivers. Zain El Homosani 16th, Julian Kovacevic 17th, Jacob Woods, Naomi Garcia, Raymond Bansal finishing 20th ahead of Henry Cameron and Max Cuthbert, rounding out the finishing order after 9 laps of racing.